Hello, thank you for watching Wasabi Aquarium channel. Today's topic is the reforming project of planted aquarium part 3. First of all, I'll explain what is a reforming project of planted aquarium. We'll face the many kinds of troubles while keeping the planted aquarium. So, we demonstrated the 3 major problems of there here and explain how to solve them. This part 3 is the final part of the series. In first part, we show how to reorganize the overgrown stemmed plants when we miss the best timing for trimming plants. Basically, how to trim them when plants were growing too much and making jungle in aquarium. At second part, we showed how to deal with the floating stemmed plants which had ripped from the ground and become poor fertility. If you are interested in those 2 videos, there you are links to them at the explanation space in this video. So please check if you are suffering from those problems. So now, as a final part of the project, the thing it should solve today is only one. As you can obviously see in this aquarium, actually people who came to our shop, they asked, "What's happening in your aquarium?" But yeah, we left them as it is for taking this video to show and explain the problem and the way to solve them. We exaggerate the situation here. Here you can see the layer of foreground plants. Glossostigma got so thick now. From now, we'll tell you what you should do to overcome this problem. Usually, you should treat them before getting this bad, but this time, we left the aquarium to show you easily. Good thing is, now, it's easy to show what we should do, and what it looks after all. When foreground plants get thicker as it is, you can see raised stems. They are raised because they can't tolerate the buoyancy anymore. This is a serious situation. Usually we treat them before they get this much. Next, cyanobacteria appears. Cyanobacteria is the biggest problem of the foreground overgrowth. Actually, the place where cyanobacteria appears are mostly decided. That's where water doesn't flow well, or no water flow, also called dead water region. So when foreground plants grow too much, and it happens in growth a lot, water flow gets worse and cyanobacteria start to grow. In this video, we explain how to deal with those cyanobacteria as well, so this video is also useful to people who are in trouble with cyanobacteria problems. Now let's start the work. First of all, take all water out from aquarium. At this time, suck cyanobacteria that you can obviously see. It helps to stop the spread of them, because it's cyanobacteria. Now, I'm pressing hose deeply to suck cyanobacteria at the beginning. As much you press hose, you can take more cyanobacteria out. The point is take as much cyanobacteria as possible at this time. Next step is to remove all those raised growths, so it doesn't matter if you press hose hardly. It doesn't matter if you suck growth. Or even better, sucking roughly for removing as much cyanobacteria as possible. It's not only for growth, so any foreground plant can become the best place to avoid cyanobacteria. In this overgrowth situation, it's just bad. Nothing is good and it's just harmful in this situation. There are only demerits, so it's better to take measures before aquarium gets this bad. Take water up this much because we'll have more steps that have to take water up as well, so please don't suck too much water. Please keep at about the line you can see in the video. For this first step, the important thing is to keep water level as don't overflow when you put your hands in. This is the point. For the overgrowth of foreground plants, there are two ways to solve this situation. One is to rip all of them. Just take out all of them. Another is called trimming. As its name, trim to make them shorter. Then, how should we choose which way to do? Basically, roots will start floating. Then trimming doesn't solve the problem. So the situation like this, as you see here, it's better to rip all those foreground plants. If all the roots were still not floating and also leaves were healthy, trimming is better solution. You can decide by watching plants carefully. For example, in stigma, you can check their chlorosis or smaller seems getting weak. Then trimming can solve this situation in most of the cases, because after then, the environment in the aquarium doesn't get better much. We recommend ripping all those plants then. When growth is still strongly rooted and leaves are very healthy and doesn't look get sick and just get thicker, then trimming is easier because it doesn't need huge work. Please look at this area. Glossostigma doesn't grow too much and roots doesn't float aquatic plants, but leaves seem sick. So today we will remove whole overgrown plants in this aquarium. Move to next step. Start taking foreground plants as I told. Because their roots are not still and start floating, we can say it's pretty easy to take them off. Remove like this. At the time, water gets a little muddy. We can avoid the situation, but please remove carefully and slowly, because if the aquarium gets too muddy, it makes us difficult to the next step. We can obviously see and feel the platform is getting muddy. Foreground plants get sick easily or doesn't grow well when soils are this muddy. Stemmed plants are pretty strong as they can still grow in this bad soil, but if as a foreground plant, the conditions of soil directly and strongly affect plants. So when soil gets muddy, it means soils were exhausted and they are not sandy anymore. Their growth gets obviously worse. Where plants are still stemmed, it's a bit difficult to remove because they involve soils. Now it's done. As you can see, dust came up with removing plants, but we can clearly see soils are muddy now. So now, we'll remove them for cleaning up. Now it's better to suck deeply with hose. Bad conditioned soils are making layer underneath the muddy part. As an image, remove about 3 cm of the soil, but we don't want water levels get too low, so it's better to do this work as quickly as possible. If it's too slow, there will be no water left. Because we removed much soils, remaining gross soils are easier to be removed. So we recommend suck them with hose as well. Now this is how it looks after foreground plants were removed. It seems that about 2.5 cm of soils were removed, in the average 2.5 to 3 cm. 2.5 to 3 cm. To remove this much, water level gets very low. Ideally, 50% of water should be remain compared to the start point. If we remove water too much, water quality and condition change and giving bad effect to fishes. So please keep in mind to leave about 50% of water from aquarium, then we can keep enough water until the end. There were moss under the Glossostigma, so in the next step, we have to repair the condition platform. We're using this Bacter 100. The product of a company called Aqua Design Amano, ADA for short. Bacter 100 is very useful as a countermeasure against cyanobacteria bloom. It has an ability to stop the cyanobacteria growth. So place them underground. This Bacter 100's target is not killing all the cyanobacteria. It's more like stop cyanobacteria growth by the help of bacteria. Those bacteria has the power to make soil condition better. What I want to say is this is not a strong medicine or that kind of things. We shouldn't use chemicals like medicines. It will badly affect bacteria in the soil. So we recommend using Bacter 100 to solve today's problem. Let's put them in. It's not a strong drug, so you can put pretty a lot. Especially we put more on where cyanobacteria growth were obvious. As you can see, Bacter 100 will sink, so please just put them from the above. This time, just in case, we'll put them in the whole area where we took Grosso out. We use this Bacter 100 when we start making the aquarium as well. We recommend you to have one anyway. It's always useful for cyanobacteria problems. Now we finished putting Bacter 100s in. Next step is addition of soil as we removed much. The product we are using is Amazonia powder type, purchased from ADA. We recommend powder type for foreground plants because it makes them easy to be stemmed. In the case of Glossostigma, leaves are not that sensitive, so if you don't have powder type, normal Amazonia is fine. The point is now ADA is selling two types, Amazonia version 2 and normal. If we use soils as an addition like today, old type of Amazonia, the long seller one is better. Nutrition in soils are kept getting used while keeping the aquarium. So we recommend old type Amazonia because it is nutrition rich. Of course, it doesn't matter even you use version 2, but in that case, we recommend to put Amazonia supplement, which comes with Amazonia version 2, between the old soils and additional version 2 soil by putting them on or embedding them with forceps. Then I'll demonstrate how to put new soil. This soil bowl is important and useful material that we can use in lots of situations. We recommend you to have one, adding like this. It's like sandwich Bacter 100 with oil soil and new soil. By making sandwich, we suppress cyanobacteria growth. Now addition of soil is done. From now on, we'll plant foreground plants. But we already uploaded many videos about how to plant foreground plants in this channel, so we don't show this step here. If you're interested in knowing the way of planting, there are links to those previous videos at the description, so please watch them. Now I think many people want to know whether we can reuse a rimmed grotto. For this aquarium we show now, we saw cyanobacteria growth, so in such case, we don't recommend to reuse a rimmed grotto, as those removed grotto contain cyanobacteria. Even we use Bacter 100, if we put cyanobacteria into the aquarium again, it's kind of useless. So, if you see cyanobacteria, then please use new plants. If there are no cyanobacteria seen, and removed plants seem very healthy, then those parts of plants could be planted again. Please decide with looking at the removed plants carefully and distinguish whether their roots have cyanobacteria or not. Now we show the aquarium just straight after added water up to the top. It seems a bit cloudy, but their dust came from added soil. This cloudy water is not because of the bacteria, and after 2 or 3 days water gets clear. Sometimes it becomes clear in next day, so please don't worry about this cloudy water. As you can see, fishes and shrimp seem healthy. Thus, this is the way to solve the overgrown plants problems harmlessly. I'd like to refer this video when you have the same problem in your aquarium. Now I'll tell supplemental explanation. When we suck soils then, we have to use hose in muddy and turbid water. Then sometimes we suck shrimps or fishes, so we recommend to prepare the net. Sucked soils are all in bucket. And when throwing away soils and mud, reverse the bucket to the net. Then the net will catch those shrimps and fishes. We recommend to care this point. When we suck soils in muddy and turbid water, it happens. So please be careful. This reforming project of Planted Aquarium Part 3 is the final part. So now reform is done. Even plants were not grown yet here. After you put foreground plants like rose again, and after they flourish, we can keep aquarium beautiful in long time period. The aim of this whole reforming project was to make aquarium beautiful again. Condition of aquarium changes day by day, so please take care of them all the time and at a suitable time point. modify properly to keep aquarium beautiful. We must modify to keep aquarium beautiful for a long time, but if you do something in not suitable way, the life of aquarium could get shorter. So I'm happy if this series of 3 videos could help you to keep your aquarium. The information materials we used in this video are shown in the description, so please check them. If you have questions or problems that you want to ask us, please write them in comment. We will check them, but I'm sorry that we can't answer one by one. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel. We'd like to make more videos that are useful for you, so we'll be happy if you can check us continuously. That's the end. Thank you for watching.